everyone, and welcome back to my show. This is Excuse My Behavior podcast, episode 3, and I'm your host, Sierra. On this episode of Excuse My Behavior podcast, we will be talking about the return of the NBA season. I will go through each round, letting you guys know finally who I think would be the last two teams to make the NBA playoffs. And we will also be talking about what some players had to say about returning and finishing up the season. Some was with the idea, a lot of them was not. And so we will also talk about that. But before we begin, I would like for all of you to go and subscribe to my YouTube page at Excuse My Behavior. And if you have a Twitter, to go and follow me on Twitter at Sierra_take. Okay, so the NBA season is here. Well, almost here. It will be here next month. The return date is July 31st, and it will be a 22-team format. It will be the top 13 teams from the West, and then the top 9 teams from the East. All teams will play at the Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida. So all 22 teams will play, sleep, maybe eat all at one place. You know it's going to be lit there, super lit. If I can afford it, I definitely would be down there. So moving on, the playoffs will only come into play if the number 9 seed finishes within 4 games of the number 8 seed, and the number 9 seed must beat the number 8 seed 2 times in a row to earn a conference final playoff spot. Now, as far as those 22 teams, for the Eastern Conference, you have the Bucks, the Raptors, the Celtics. You have the Heat, the Pacers, 76ers, Nets. You even have the Washington Wizards in there. And then a part of the Western Conference, you have the Lakers, you have the Clippers, you have the Utah Jazz, you have the Thunders, Rockets, the Kings, Pelicans, and a few more teams. The teams that I will like to see make it, the teams that I would like to see advance to the next round would be the Rockets, would be the Pelicans, because I think it would be awesome for Zion to just be returned. I think he came back in January, and then to take him, then to take his team to the playoffs. I definitely would love to see that happen. And then they also have another player on the team. I can't think of his name right now, but he's light skinned and he has cornrows and tattoos everywhere. I just can't think of his name. Ingram. There you go. You have Ingram, and then you have Zion, and I would like to see both of them lead the Pelicans into the playoffs. But that's who I would like to see. That don't necessarily mean that it's going to happen. I would also like to see the Sixers make it all the way, if that's possible. But we'll see. We don't know. We can only speculate right now, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So, as you guys know, many of you know that the NBA season came to a halt on March 11th. It was during the game with the Thunders and the Utah Jazz. Right before the game was supposed to start, they postponed the game. So it hasn't been an NBA game played since, and it's been like over 100 days now. And so I'm very happy to see it coming back, because during this time of the year, you watch the NBA to kind of take your mind off football, because football doesn't come back until August. Then the NBA usually take you to June, and then you have like a month to do something else, and then next thing you know, football is here. But because of the coronavirus, because of everything going on right now, we don't have any sports, and so we will have it coming soon. But I wanted to talk about, as far as the players who don't want to or didn't want to return. Kyrie Irving, a guard with the Brooklyn Nets, very high profile player. He doesn't think playing is a good idea, and he is willing to give up everything for social reform. And that's all fine and dandy, but you have to think, right? Everything is going on with the Black Lives Matter movement, and then police brutality against black people. But to be honest, this is nothing new. This is something that's been going on for years and years and years. So why you guys do it now? Why not do it then? Oh, is it because America is just realizing? Oh, no, 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 no. If you truly believe, that there should be some social reform and police justice against police officers who commit these violent acts against black people, if this is something you truly believed in, this is something that you would have talked about a long time ago. This is something I didn't hear Kyrie Irving on Instagram or Twitter, Facebook or whatever talking about as far as Colin Kaepernick kneeling. Like, where was you when he did this in 2016? So. And then you want to think we need sports. So think about it, right? What if all players, all athletes sit out because of this? Do you really think the cop's going to be like, oh, I'm not going to kill this black person because there are no sports? No. They're going to do what they're going to do regardless of what we do. I'm not saying don't take a stand. But bro, it's sports, it's football. Take a stand, but don't stop working. I'm not gonna. Football players, basketball players, your job is to play football, play basketball. Like, my job is to be a customer service representative for a call center. I'm not going to call out of work because police is killing black people. I don't know. Some may agree with me, some don't. Again, the name of this podcast is called Excuse My Behavior. And sorry, excuse me, but this is just, I think that, again, I'm not saying to do not protest, do not take a stand. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, I'm going to sit out the rest of the season because of social reform. Dude, what? Whatever, sit out anyway. You get hurt most of the time. You're a great player. Kyrie is a great player. He's an awesome player. He is like one of the best players in the whole wide world. But I don't know. And then you have some players you have Dwight Howard, who thinks that playing will be a distraction for what's going on. No, it ain't. It's not going to be a distraction. Again, you take it away, what's going to happen? You think the cops going to stop killing? No, 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 no. And then it's people, Anyway, it's people who actually need to work, who need to, just like me. You have some like Austin Rivers. He's a guard with the Houston Rockets. He took to Instagram and argued that many players need paychecks, just like me. We need paychecks, so they're not going to sit out of work because of what's going on. I mean, dude, like I said, I still have to go to work. I'm not going to call out of work because police is killing people. As simple as that. So again, we need the sports. It's something that it will, in my opinion, it will be less chaos. If you take away sports, it's not going to be much for many. It's not going to be anything for us to do, really. You have people like me who will sit in the house and watch sports all day. And then when you take that away, what you think is going to happen? Shit just going to get worse. So, in my opinion, but yeah, that's what some players had to say, and I'm with Austin Rivers. People need the money. It is what it is. Keep it moving. So with that being said, yeah, that just kind of took me for a loop for a little bit, y'all. I'm sorry. All right, so with that being said, we're going to talk about, I'm going to go over who will win each round, or who I think will win each round, and then who I think would be the final two teams to be in the NBA championship game. So let's get started. You have the Bucks versus the Orlando Magics. Now these teams met 4 times in the regular season. The Bucks swept the Magic each time, 4-0. So I think the same thing is going to happen. I don't think it's going to be a difference. Why would it be a difference? You know, from previous games, Milwaukee is going to win. So moving on, the next team you have is the Toronto Raptors versus the Brooklyn Nets. I have 2 things to say here, 2 players. There is no KD and you have no Kyrie. The Raptors have better chances. I just have the Nets winning maybe 1 game with LeVert, with him getting the job done. And that's about it. Moving on. This game, if they play, I'm pretty sure they will. But this game I'm pretty excited about. You have the Sixers versus the Boston Celtics. I think this is going to be a really good game. The Sixers are one of the biggest wild card out there. You can argue that they're just as good as any other team in the NBA. You have Embiid. Embiid is an awesome player, especially he's as far as the post-ups, he's one of the best to do it. Really, he is. I love watching him play. And then the Sixers also have this awesome defensive player. They have, bear with me for one moment, you guys. They have Ben Simmons. Now, he is a great player. I love watching him play. He is a great defensive player. He gets the job done. You can see him in the game versus the Rockets. Let me take this off the screen for you guys. You see how he blocked the pass against James Harden. That is really something to look forward to. That's why I really want the Sixers to make it all the way to the end. But there is something huge about the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics have this player. They have Jason Tatum. And the Boston Celtics is the only team in the East with the top 5 defense, right? And a top 5 offense. The offense ranked 4th overall. The offense ranked 5th overall, and the defense ranked 4th overall. So the Celtics is very efficient, and I feel like they will beat the 76ers 4-2. Okay. Moving on. You have, I don't know, because the only reason I like this team is because
and Myers very physical and strong, where he can battle and push Sabonis and challenge him with that long arm.
Mid-range try, and none rattles it down. Right, and now you got a mismatch with Bam against Lamb.
It is this man right
Robinson
here.
open for 3.
I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, but the Pacers versus the Miami Heat. I don't think the Pacers is going to do anything. I don't have the Pacers beating the Heat. I feel like they may win a few games. They may be neck and neck, but I don't have them doing anything big. So I'm going with Miami. I'm taking them to winning the game. They're going to win four games. Pacers going to win 3 games. Miami going to beat them by 1.
That's just what I think as far as the Eastern Conference. So for the Eastern Conference, first round, I got the Bucks, I got the Raptors, I got the Celtics, and then I have the Heat. Moving on, we have the Western Conference. Now, this conference, I feel like, have a better group of teams. You have the Lakers versus the Grizzlies. I think this is going to be pretty much a no-brainer. I have the Lakers sweeping the Grizzlies. They're going to win 4 games. Grizzlies not even going to win 1 game. I don't know, maybe 1. I take that back. They probably win 1. But I still have the Lakers winning, obviously. So, moving on. We have the Clippers versus the Mavericks. The Mavericks have a 17th ranked defense. The Clippers have a 5th ranked defense. They have Paul George. They have Kawhi. I'm going to go with the Clippers. I have them winning 4 games. I have the Mavericks only winning 2. Moving on to the next. We have the Houston Rockets versus the Nuggets. Now, the Nuggets have Nikola. He played his best games. He's a great post-up scorer. However, the Nuggets will need a more consistent number 2 option to keep pace with James Harden and Russell Westbrook. Obviously, James Harden is one of the top scorers in the NBA. And then Russell Westbrook, he's also a great player as well. I have the Rockets defeating the Nuggets 4-2. Okay. Moving on. We have the Utah Jazz versus the Thunders. Now, even though the Jazz have a top 10 defense, the Thunders have a 3-headed point guard team. You have Chris Paul, Shai Alexander, Dennis Schroeder. They will crush. They will crush the Utah Jazz. Have the Thunders winning 4-2. Okay, so to go over the Western Conference, I have the Lakers, have the Clippers, I have the Rockets, and then I have the Thunders. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and go to the Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference semifinals. This is where stuff is going to get good. This is where it's going to get most exciting. In my opinion, you have the Bucks versus the Heat. Now, Miami, they have the team to limit Giannis. They're one of only 2 teams to beat the Bucks twice. The last time they played, the Heat won by 16 points. Their defense was able to stop Giannis, right? Giannis, the reigning MVP, he only managed 13 points on 18 shots. Wiped out his 3 assists with 3 turnovers, the lowest game he ever scored in the entire season. And then the Heat, they have Jimmy Butler. They have another, I'm not even going to pronounce his name. Andre. I'm going to call him Andre. But still, as good as Jimmy Butler and Andre is, Obviously, I'm going to go with Giannis. I'm going to take Giannis over the Heat. They're going to beat them by 4 games. Heat going to get 2. Maybe.
All right, moving on. We have the Toronto Raptors versus the Boston Celtics.
Now, researching the difference between the two teams, there really wasn't much of a difference I could find. They're both side by side as far as the rankings and everything goes. The Toronto Raptors is 4th overall. The Boston is 5th. Boston is 5th overall. They even resemble each other. They even have 2 star players at forwards. I mean, they both have great star players. They got Pascal for the Raptors. Then you got Jason Tatum for the Celtics. And then as far as the veteran players, right, you got the running point Kyle Lowry, and then you got Kemba Walker. The last time they played each other in October, score was 112 to 106. The two players, Jaylen Brown and Gordon Hayward, they combined for more than 37 points per game. And their shots was they shot at least 49% from the field and then 38% from distance, right? The Celtics is still a better team as far as overall. So I'm going to take them beating the Raptors, not by much, just one more game, 4-3.
All right, moving on. We have the Thunders
versus the Lakers.
I don't think that I really need to say much. We do know that Thunders can create problems, but still they don't compare to LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I have the Lakers winning. Okay, I have the Lakers winning. Let's say this, I have the Thunders winning 1 game. Just 1 game. Now, moving on, the next matchup I'm going to talk about, I'm really looking forward to this. I really would like to see this happen. Don't know why it wouldn't happen. But then you have the Clippers versus the Houston Rockets. Boy, I think it's going to be a good game. You got Paul George, you got Kawhi, you got Russell Westbrook, and then you got James Harden, who I don't think he get enough recognition for what he can do. This man is one of the top scorers in the NBA, and it's like he doesn't even get recognized for it, and it blows my mind. I mean, he can score like 40 points in 1 game. Now, Harden, there was a game he scored 37 points in. It was actually against the Clippers, right? And he scored 37 points in this game, and they still lost. They lost by 3 points. So because of that, I feel like no matter how good he can play, how great of a player he is, it's just something that they need to do to get them over that hump. And because we don't know what they need to do to get over that hump as of yet, or they don't know what to do, at least right now or before the season was suspended, I'm going to stick with the Clippers. It's really, really hard to see the Rockets go. I don't want to say goodbye, but I feel like Kawhi and Paul George have a better chance than James Harden and Russell Westbrook. All right, so to go over I don't even know if I went over the Eastern Conference semifinals with you guys, but I'm just going to go over it again. So for the Eastern Conference semifinals, I'm going with the Bucks.
I'm going with the Celtics. And then for the Western Conference semifinals, I'm going with the Lakers. And I'm going with the Clippers. So now it's getting good. Now we're getting to the good stuff, the good part. We have the Eastern Conference final. And if you've been paying attention, if you've been, I don't know if you've been maybe writing notes or taking stuff down, but if you've been listening, you can guess who my Eastern Conference final, who the two teams that I have playing in that game. And if you can't guess it, that's okay, because I'm just going to go ahead and tell you anyway. I have the Bucks versus the Celtics. Now, I'm going to go with Boston. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Taking that back. I'm going to go with the Bucks. I'm going with Giannis. Boston do not have the size to challenge Giannis at the rim. There is a huge something missing. Taking consideration that Giannis sinked the second most buckets inside 5 feet and finishes in that range over 70%, 71% to be exact. Who Boston have that can challenge that man within 5 feet of the rim? He makes it almost every time. 70% is a high number. To me it is anyway. I feel like they just don't have no one to stop him. Now because of that, I'm going with the Bucks. Now I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout. The Celtics may get 2 games in, maybe 3, but I definitely have the Bucks defeating them. Now the Western Conference Finals. We're not going to make it about the Clippers. I'm sorry, we're not going to make it about LeBron versus Kawhi. You're not going to make it about it, but I am. These two teams, the Clippers and the Lakers, these are the 2 best teams in the conference, right? This is certainly a game to look forward to. LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they rate 2nd and 3rd, respectively. And then you have Paul George, who was an MVP finalist last season. And then you got Kawhi Leonard, who's a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year and 2 times Final MVP. Now, the Lakers, they gain a slight edge for 2 reasons. The Clippers can't make their best lineup any bigger. So, you have LeBron James at 6'9". You have Anthony Davis at 6'10". They can't get anyone bigger on their team to challenge both of them. And then you want to also think about the other players that they have that are used as a weapon that many people may forget about. But when I watch the game, I always pay attention to these 2 players as well. You have Dwight Howard. Well, let's forget about him because he's saying he may not even play. You also have McGee, and then you have Kuzma. I feel like the Lakers is going to I don't know. I feel like Kawhi and I feel like they can get the job done. They just have to do one little thing. It's something they need to do, but they can definitely get the job done. But my gut is saying like you won't bet when Tom Brady was playing with the Patriots. You would not make a bet against Tom Brady. It is very, very seldom that you're going to bet against Tom Brady or you're going to bet for that team to lose. So I feel like it's the same way with LeBron James. I don't want to bet against him. So I'm going with the Lakers. I'm going with the Lakers. They're going to beat the Clippers. There you go. I said it. I said it. So with that being said, you have the NBA championship. The NBA championship game. The Milwaukee Bucks versus the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, it's never been a bad idea to go ahead and project that the two best teams in their conference, is going to make it to the finals. You have the Bucks, who's the best in their conference, and the Lakers, who's the best in their conference. Like, okay, so it's okay for you to be like, okay, so since they're the best in their conference and they're the best in their conference, I'm just going to say both. I'm going to go to the championship game. I feel like that's a safe bet. There's nothing wrong with making that bet. The only thing is that, stuff do happen. Then you have surprises, and you never know what could happen. Like, some crazy stuff could happen, and none of these teams would be in the NBA championship. I doubt it. I think there's a super low chance that's going to happen, but you never know. So I feel like it's never a bad idea anyway. I feel like it's always a safe option. You have Giannis. He is the first player in over 50 years to average the first 30-something. He's 30-something years old and to average 25 points and 10 assists per game. That's just on the average. So he's likely to have way more than that. And then you have LeBron James. It's so much you can see about LeBron James. You can probably write a book about him. He's a sharper basketball player. He got a sharper basketball player mind. He's more intact. He's more in sync. He knows, okay, if because of the experience, if this doesn't work, I can do it this way. And Giannis may not know all that because he doesn't have the experience that LeBron James have. So, with that being said, I'm going to go. Lord, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, you guys. I don't want to do this. But I don't want to go against the grain. I don't want to go against the grain. I know what my mind is telling me. It's telling me to go with the Lakers. But my heart is telling me to go with the Bucks. And ladies, men, when you're in a relationship, do you go with your mind or do you go with your heart? A lot of people go with their mind. I'm going to go with my heart. And just to let you guys know, my answer was totally different, but as I'm going over my notes and thinking about this in my head, I'm switching it. I'm going to go with the Bucks to win it all. To take it home. Yes. Sorry, LeBron James. And I was going with the Lakers. Like, I wish I can show you guys this paper. I don't want to, be ghetto and lift the whole book up. But I was going with the Lakers. That was the team I was going with. But I feel like Giannis, he have something to prove. I feel like LeBron James don't really have nothing to, because he's been there already. So I don't know. And then with everything going on, I feel like the Lakers is their team with Dwight Howard speaking out. They may be like politically not into the season right now. They may not play their best game.
So because of all of that, I'm going to go ahead and go with Giannis. I'm going to go with the Bucks. I feel like they have something to prove. I feel like they're going to be more focused, and so that's my team. That's what I'm going to do. And so this is all I have for you guys today. I'm sorry I posted this episode late. I had a lot going on today. I also go to I go to Tidewater Community College. I'm in school for professional communications, hoping to get an associate's of a business degree in that. But I had homework to do. I had a lot to do, and being that I'm starting this podcast and I've been working on this a lot. I'm a mother of 3 kids. I have a lot going on, so I wasn't able to get to it at my scheduled time. That's why if you watched my second episode, I said that I'm going to be switching up the times. This is exactly what I mean by switching up the times. So it's Sunday night, technically Monday morning. And so this is the time when I'm able to talk to you guys and let you know my thoughts, my views about the sports world and everything that's going on. But with all of that being said, that's all I have. I do want to mention one thing. My email, excuse_my_behavior@outlook.com. If you want to be interviewed on my show, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, if you want to let me know, correct me on some information or anything, please don't forget to email me at excuse_my_behavior. That is all I have for you guys. I do want to thank you for watching Excuse My Behavior podcast, and I will see you next week. Maybe Sunday, maybe Monday. It will be next week. Bye, guys. Have a good night.